What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the goalkeepers in FIFA 23 and giving them a rank. So I've got a selection of goalkeepers here, all of pretty much the top ones. I feel like, yes, you could go through the whole list of all the lower rateds, the 84s, the 85s, but I wanted to stick with the top because more than likely, a lot of people will probably have one of these goalkeepers by now. Yes, we have thrown Pope in there just as an S tier that is just godly. Pope has always been a fantastic keeper, and we have seen him again this year, but pretty much I've come up against, I'd probably say most of these, maybe not Trap at the moment, but again, you might skip the screen so you don't really see it, but I'm pretty sure every one of these goalkeepers has been in somebody's team. Personally, we are using Mendy at the moment. On the second account, we're using De Gea, we have used ter Stegen, we've used Alisson, we've used Donnarumma, so we've got a good grasp now of all of the keepers, and basically what makes a slightly good keeper, and then also just naturally how the game's progressed with a goalkeeper's save. You know what, we're going to start off. Pope, he's just got to be in that S tier for me. I think as a nostalgic player, he has been fantastic as a cheap option. He's been always a cheap option in FIFA. I think he is coming in, if I can find him down here. There he is. He's coming in at 700 coins. He's 6'6". He just gives you that option. He's a Prem keeper. And honestly, he's just a nostalgic player more than anything. He is going to have that God category from his footies to his previous years. Again, he will give you some options. He may not be the greatest keeper on the game, but nostalgic value, we've got to put him in that S as number one, just for everybody. So now I normally go with some of the S tiers that we kind of get used to and kind of just put in there beforehand, and we go and then speak about them a little bit. I think for me, there is always a big standout keeper that is almost a safe bet. He just naturally is in everybody's team to start with. He actually is, I believe, joint highest keeper in the game, and that's going to be our man Courtois. Naturally, he's just everybody's go-to. Last year, the year before that, he is the first one that I'll likely try and purchase if I don't pack him, just because I know he's just a naturally good keeper on the game, as well as being one of the highest rated. Sometimes he's not. I know Oblack has been very high for most of the time, as well as then you see Alisson, Ederson. I think, again, these two are both in that S tier category. Both of them absolutely fantastic, and previous Team of the Year versions, which normally, once I get to Team of the Year, that is the keeper I get. I think that is normally the first one any Team of the Year anybody gets. Naturally, the keeper is the easiest one to pack, but them three for me are the standout S tiers, as well as Donnarumma. Donnarumma's always good. He gets the links to Mbappe, gets the links to Marquinhos, to Neymar, to Messi, some of the big players if you do need that chemistry. And this year, again, big kind of need if you are putting, say, just a Neymar in. Say if you've only got one of them, he's going to be a cracking one to get in. Maybe you have Kimpembe with him as well, just to add that free tier players, and you can get your full chemistry. And all of them are coming in at a whopping 61,000 for Courtois. Again, 6'6". Great stats throughout. Obviously, he's got a little bit less speed compared to some of them. We then have Alisson, who's coming in at 54, a bit more speed on him. He is 6'3", so it's a slightly smaller keeper. Ederson is a 48,000 with 6'2". He has the most speed out of all of them there, and I think if we go down, 61, so to be fair, Lloris is very close, 34 on Mendy. Then I think, yeah, so he's one of the fastest keepers that you will find. Normally that was the case. I'm pretty sure he did have a Team of the Year. I'm questioning it now. I know Alisson has, but I'm pretty sure Ederson did as well. Maybe. I'm questioning it now. Let's have a look. Let's have a look together. I'm pretty sure he did, but maybe he didn't. It might have just been a Team of the Season that I had of him then. No, he didn't. It might have just been double Alisson then. I really don't know where I've got that stat from. But normally Ederson is fantastic regardless. He's a very good bog standard keeper to get at the very start of the game. And then Donnarumma, if I can find him, is coming in at 31,000 coins. Again, a decent amount of pace. Stats throughout are nice. A little bit less on the kicking. And that's another thing with Ederson. Kicking is absolutely unreal. So De Gea this year had a big upgrade, to be honest. Again, is a fantastic keeper, real life or not. I absolutely rate De Gea. I always will do, but naturally I can see the progression getting a little bit less and less, and hopefully we do step up in that sort of gear, as I'm not quite ready to let go of De Gea just yet. But De Gea, 21,000 coins. I'm going to be putting him in that A category. I've played I think about 10 games with him on the second account, and we have got a semi-solid squad, so there's a few attacks going through. Normally what I'm finding at the moment is the guaranteed goals, not many keepers save. A lot of the time now, to be fair, I'd say some of the shots are being saved a lot more, so I'm probably going to predict that some point in the future, the patches are going to kind of lessen them saves. Hopefully not, because I think it's a perfect amount, but I have noticed some big saves coming out. Some one-on-ones are being saved. Some almost guaranteed goals are being saved by a last-minute hand that definitely should, well, normal FIFA last year, the year before, would have definitely screamed in. So again, it's very nice that the keepers are getting a bit harder to score against. We've got Neuer up next. He's a 51,000 coin. He again is the joint second in this lead. We are going to put him in S as well. I think for me, the top keepers, the top end, are actually really good keepers this year. And like I said with De Gea, keepers are managing to save a lot more, as well as then having the option for the throw-ins if you've got the giant throw, if you've obviously got the kick-in. Again, it's another option. I do find at the moment everybody's finding their feet, so you very rarely find anybody actually go for the ball in a long ball. You don't see the big kicks. You don't see masses of throws straight downfield. You see the quick passes. You see the quick throw-ins to the left and right mids or left backs, and then they play from there. So we will get to the point where maybe Ederson and Neuer's kicking could actually do you a favor. A big downgrade for this guy. Oblack is coming in, 89 rated. Personally, I used him for 3 games. I wasn't too impressed with him. I still think he's definitely in the A category, but I think I was really more looking to go with S with him. It could have been, again, 3-4 games with him. I feel like for a keeper, you definitely, I would even go as far to say you need kind of like a weekend league to really get to grasp with a keeper. It's very, very hard to go 3 to 5 games because you can kind of get a gist of what they do save and what they don't, but you never know over a long period of time. You could have 5 incredible games and then 5 really, really bad games, and you've changed the keeper in between. That is going to have the massive impact on whether you think that keeper's good. I could go and play with Lloris and he could save me 10 games in a row, and I just rate him so highly. The next 10 could be awful. It all depends on who you're playing, what the level is, and I think Foot Champs is the greatest way to find out this because you have no option. Everybody is going for that win. You will find less casuals going for it because they're not really going to go into it if they're just 1-2 games a day. It's just to chill out. They're just coming back from work. They're going for the chill. They're not going for the absolute sweat on the weekend. Some people can't just play weekend league. They naturally don't have time there. People could work at that point. It is a big commitment to get into Foot Champs every single week, and I think for me, you go against either the better players sometimes if you are progressing your rank, or your harder opponents depending on your level as well, which I mean will test the keeper a lot more than say going from Division 10 rivals to Division 6 if you are a Division 1 player normally. To Stegen, what a keeper this guy is. 30,000 coins. I really, really was happy with this card. We packed him on the second account as the first keeper before I moved it to De Gea, and I just wanted to try out a couple of keepers. He was absolutely fantastic for me, and I will probably be swapping them at some point again. But again, a fantastic keeper between the sticks. Really, really good. 6'2". He does have a 4-star weak foot as well, so that's always something to always look at. Edouard Mendy. So I think he's probably the keeper we have spent the most time with, mainly because he is untradeable, and we haven't actually got another untradeable keeper other than Oblack, and I think they're both on similar levels. Mendy gives me the Chelsea link. I've got a few Premier League players in there. Don't really have too much La Liga going on at the moment, so Mendy is the safer option. I think the speed lets him down a little bit. He has made some absolutely cracking saves, so I can't disregard him too early, and I think, can I get rid of this? We'll get rid of these 2 rows just so I can bring it closer together because, honestly, and the one thing that somebody said, yeah, check my camera, because I know if I go a couple more on that S, we've got to move the camera down. But with Mendy, I think he makes some fantastic saves, but he is limited at so much. I personally would upgrade to Ederson Alisson at some point because 14,000 coins for Mendy is cracking at the start, and because he's untradeable, I've not spent any coins, so he will do for the moment. But most definitely, I am looking or eyeing up some of the higher rated keepers, as I think Mendy has a limit that he may have reached in rivals already. Chesney up next, again an 86 with 14,000 coins. Probably the least I've played with. I think Chesney and Trapp are 2 that I've I've only kind of dabbled in at the moment, really, when using the Serie A squad or a Bundesliga kind of squad when doing reviews for them. Personally, both of them have been okay, but I would possibly put him here. And again, I wouldn't say that's for everybody's opinion, because there's definitely people out there that have played with Chesney, and like I said, the first 30 games, the first 10 games have been fantastic, but it depends on how your level is going, where you've played him in, if you played him in friendlies, if you played him in rivals, are you in a top-end rivals? That is where it's really going to matter too much. And I think the big thing for me will be when we get into FUT Champs and get some more informed keepers, promo keepers, I'll be redoing this list as well, and you might find some players might go up, some players might go down. I'm going to try and really spread my keepers over these FUT Champs weeks and really get a good list together and really see what sort of saves, and maybe even bring a spreadsheet to these videos. Maybe see what 10 games is like, how many saves they make, what I thought of the match. Did I win? Did I lose? Because that's going to be the big one. If I've lost a match, great, but how many saves did he have? How many were guaranteed goals? Have they just passed it around the keeper? I can't necessarily put that on the keeper, so maybe that could be an interesting thing to get a really kind of detailed list with who you want. Also, if you want to drop down a comment your favorite keeper, if it's somebody on this list or somebody off this list, let me know. I know primes and heroes are not on at the moment, but they will be on the next one as we've gone through the list, and we will finish off these final ones really quickly now. We've got Mendy at 87 rated, 24.5k. I think it's an easy one for me. Great ability. He was great last year, and I think they've definitely progressed to make him just as good this year. And again, I think a couple of specials, and he's definitely going to be looking at that S category. Lloris, another fantastic, very consistent keeper, 61 speed. I think for me, Lloris is just missing that one little element that will take him up into that S category. He has got caution with crosses, which I think is the big one that I really don't like. Even though I will say, bringing the keeper out is a little bit harder, depending on how the opponent is lining up their crosses. If they're managing to swing it out, it is very hard to bring a keeper out, but I do think that trait doesn't help anybody, so hopefully that one can go away. And finally, we have Navas, 20,000 coins, extinct at the moment, another fantastic keeper that is going to go in that A category. So let me know down below what you think about this list. Do you see any upgrades or downgrades that you would personally make in this list? I think that's a pretty detailed list. Like I said, we might bring something more which will kind of go with saves per matches, all of that jazz. So let me know if you'd like to see that and what your favorite keeper is. Apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe.